Uh, Apparently, Lee Jenkins is LeBron James' best buddy. He writes for Sports Illustrated. He's the guy that wrote the big essay when LeBron decided he was going to come back from Miami to Cleveland. And he's got another expose out, Golick, and it's making news because of some of the quotes from LeBron James about his pursuit of Michael Jordan. There's always been the comparisons, but they have two different games, and it is what it is. But among other things, he says this: my motivation is this ghost I'm chasing. The ghost played in Chicago. That's only one small quote, but yet it jumps.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Off the page.
Absolutely.
What were your thoughts when you read it?
Well, I mean, listen, as I think, for him, it's something that's motivational. He went on to say, my career is totally different than Jordan's. What I've gone through is totally different than what he went through. What he did was unbelievable, and I watched it unfold. I looked up to him so much. I think it's cool to put myself in position to be one of the greatest players. But if I can ever put myself in position to be the greatest player, that would be something extraordinary. I think I think he could be the best athlete to have ever played the game, given his size, by numbers, being 6'8", 260, 270, and his ability to do things. Jordan obviously was a great athlete as well. You look at it from the athletic standpoint. As far as considered the greatest of all time, I don't know if LeBron will get there. Listen, I have no problem with him saying it because he's a guy that, if nothing else, is in the discussion. It would be different if it's a guy saying that, who, is just coming up and putting himself up there saying that's what I want to be. And that's a goal. I get it. But you're just like, yeah, whatever. Let's see what you do. Well, we've seen what LeBron has done. We've seen some great. We've seen some We've seen some movement, something that a lot of people say is the biggest difference of him and Jordan. Jordan stayed in one spot and drove the bus, while LeBron, while driving the bus, jumped from a couple of, to a couple of different buses. So I don't know if LeBron will ever reach that stature, but at least he's going to be in the conversation. And what he did last year, really what he did 2 years ago, but you lost the finals, but the way he played in losing in 6 games with, the Matthew Dellavedovas of the world as your next best player, or Timothy Mozgov as your next best player, was incredible. And then to come out of the 3-1 hole this year and get the win, I think is a huge feather in his cap. I don't think he'll ever get there, but he certainly is going to be in the conversation, because the expectation is still in the West, what team comes out of the West, and in the East, what team is LeBron on? Those two teams are meeting in the finals.
We love to dissect, right?
Yes, we do.
We love to dissect these type of things. I've been very vocal and consistent that my 3 favorite athletes of all time are MJ, Tiger, and LeBron. And the reason they're my 3 favorite athletes of all time is because they have given me the most joy as a fan, as a viewer of any athletes I've ever watched. Jordan gave us those great moments in the 90s. Tiger gave us all those great Sundays and those magical shots. And LeBron has done what LeBron has done. The reason that I say that MJ is better is, and this has been the slight on LeBron forever, when you think of a last-second shot that you want a guy to take, that in our minds never missed, even though he did.
Oh, yeah.
But in our minds, Michael never missed
the myth
that game winner.
The perception has he doesn't miss, the reality is he did.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
But he was always willing to take it.
Right.
And I think that's always going to follow LeBron around the finals against Dallas, where I equated the basketball to a hot potato because he couldn't wait to get rid of it. Jordan never had that instinct. His instinct was always shoot, 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 and I'm going to carry this team. I think LeBron now has gotten there.
Yeah.
I think he's gotten to the point where he says, I'm the guy, and the confidence is at a supreme level. I don't think it was always there for him. And I think that's the difference that will always be there.
I think also a difference is the type of player. We keep comparing LeBron to Jordan when their games, it's probably LeBron to Magic. LeBron is
I think that's
much
accurate.
more of a disher of the basketball than Michael Jordan, right? I mean, he has the ball looking to get other people involved. I mean, that's one of the things LeBron likes to do. Now, we know he can score. We know he can play defense, but he loves to dish the ball. So I think early on, that's what he was doing, trying to get his teammates involved. But I agree with you. As of late, I think he realizes, okay, in crunch time, got to be me. Whether it's a jump shot, which he got more confidence in later, as the playoffs progressed and he was hitting them, as opposed to driving the ball, going in the air, holding it like a football till he clears, and then, going for the layup and ended up on the line or on the ground or making the bucket. So I do think he's gotten there, but I just wonder if too much has already passed to where you have Jordan 6 for 6. Never going to that game 7, ending it to where LeBron is 3 and 4, 7 finals. It's going to be in more. He still may get 4, 5, 6 titles, may equal Jordan's at the end of all of this, may or may not, but he's got the losses to go with it. So I actually think it's to be considered the greatest. It's probably out of reach because he's competing with the ghost. He is. He's competing with a guy who's already done it, and the myth just keeps getting more. Now, the greatness is already there, but over time, it just elevates, doesn't it?
That's what I want to ask you. Yeah. Coach in for Greeny today, Mike and Mike, presented by Progressive Insurance. I think that naturally the conversation goes to where we just took it when you read these quotes. The comparison. And his life is great. Maybe one of the greatest lives you could ever live. That's not the issue. When I read these, I thought to myself, what possessed him to do this interview and to say these things when he knew and he knows that he is going to be picked apart when this comes out. When this comes out in Sports Illustrated, LeBron is smart enough to realize that we're going to pick up on these quotes, we're going to read them, and we're going to say what is going on in his mind right now as the leader of the Cleveland Cavaliers, as the best player in basketball.
Right.
That's where my mind went all day yesterday thinking, why would he do this now?
Yeah, and quite honestly, right now is where he can rise more in the eyes of people now, I think, than ever, because he's starting to take over more, and now what is he going to be going against? This super team, right? Kevin Durant joins the Golden State Warriors. Let's go more to some of the piece of Lee Jenkins. How about this part of it, which Hembo's not going to like to hear, you the analysts and all that. This from Lee Jenkins' piece. On the morning of July 4th, while James hosted a small barbecue at his house in Brentwood, Durant joined the Warriors. The Cavaliers were overshadowed once again by the prospect of Golden State scoring, a ton of points. If they were weary of Warriors highlights before, just wait. One NBA front office ran simulations based on player values for the upcoming season. Cleveland came out with 64 wins, that's second best in the league.
Okay.
Golden State, they came out with 83 wins. Hembo, you're Mr. Stat. You give us all these BPIs and all this. In case anybody doesn't understand what I just said, Golden State came out with 83 wins. There's 82 games in the regular season. Explain for your nerdy number people how you can do this.
I can't defend my brethren on this one.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for keeping it short and sweet.
Doesn't this play right in
Simulation,
to our argument?
83 wins.
Wow.
I mean, how much can LeBron jump up even more now? And because if he's in the finals against Golden State, which everybody expects to happen, at least, barring injury, that's where this could lead to, that if they're going to win, LeBron is going to be the MVP again, although he got great help last year from Kyrie, no doubt about that. To now beat this supposed super team would be
Okay, let me ask you that. Do you think that happens? Does LeBron's legacy go up even higher if next year he beats this version of the Golden State Warriors?
Yes, without question.
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
Big time or a little bit?
Oh, no, I think big. I think it went up. I think you start 2 years ago when they lost and everybody still said, man, okay, Golden State won. What a season. Look at what LeBron did. Mm-hmm. Look at who he had on that team.
Yeah.
And they won 6 games. And then next year, okay, they're healthy. They got to win. Now you're down 3-1. That was going to hurt LeBron's legacy, I thought. Okay, LeBron, your guys are healthy. Here you go. The year before you were great alone, taking them to 6. Now you're down 3-1 with your guys. Then they came back and won, so I think that was huge. Now, the super team, which, again, I don't have a problem with what Durant did. A lot of people do. I don't. So they've made this super team, to which we'll get into later, some of Klay Thompson's quotes about Durant being on the team. But, yes, I absolutely think it'll be multiple feathers in his cap if he's able to take this team down.
I agree with you. I think that, and I think he understands that. I also think part of the reason that he did this article in this interview is that he understands the villain that Kevin Durant has become.
Right.
And as a babyface, he is no longer going to be a heel. He's going to be a babyface because of the Golden State Warriors. So even when this article comes out, there's still not going to be the pushback that I think would have been before if Kevin Durant wouldn't have gone to Golden State. I truly believe that's part of the reason he decided to do this.
Yeah, and I also think that. Do you think everybody's going to want them to lose? You think they're going to be they're going to be that team? Now there are going to be some that want to see, wow, how far can this team go? But there are going to be others where they're going to want to see them get beat. They're going to see that they're the big boys on the block. I want to see them go down.